Salve, and welcome to Parsing John. Today we are in verse 33 of chapter 1. I almost said 21 there. That would have been completely incorrect. Here's the rubric, everything that we're looking for as we go through this passage. I keep all of that in mind. Let's go ahead and get started. Et ego nesciebam eum sed qui mansit me baptizare in aqua ille mihi dixit super quam videris spiritum discedentem et manentem super eum hic est qui baptizat in spiritus sancto. There we go. It's a pretty long one today compared to a lot of the ones that we've done recently. Et is our first word, and just connecting this verse with the previous verse, our verb is nesciebam. Since we've got bam as our ending, we know that is a first person singular imperfect tense, and it is active and indicative. Ego is, of course, nominative and singular. I was. Ne tells us that this is a negative verb, not knowing. Or used to not. Or began to not. And we could go with the fourth option, but we've run out of space. Canoe. We have to know a direct object, which we have right here, eum, which is the same thing as eum we saw here, except this one is the object of preposition. This one is our direct object. So I'm going to reparse this one. Accusative, singular, masculine, him. Said just means but, which is not spelled with an E. FYI, the word but is not spelled with an E. That would be bet. Cree is either nominative singular or nominative plural masculine. Since our verb here, misit, has it and it is third person singular, this one has to be nominative singular masculine. Who, misit, is mito, mitere, misi, perfect tense, active and indicative. Sent, a direct object. Me is accusative or ablative. We don't want an ablative with this verb. Ablative, of course, can't be a direct object. So accusative makes the most sense. Mi baptizare. So we got the re right there on baptiza, the stem of our verb. We know that this is actually an infinitive. Present, active, infinitive. To baptize. In aqua. In is our preposition. It takes either the accusative or the ablative case. So we take a look ahead. Aqua could not be accusative since this is a first declension feminine word. Ille can't be in the prepositional phrase. It's the wrong form, so it ends right there. Plus ablative. This would be ablative of place where. And feminine. In water. Ille comes from ille, illa, illud, and this is the further of the two demonstratives pointing to something that is not as close to the subject when distance matters. In this case, I don't think it does. But anyway, if you wanted to say that one over there, then you'd use illa. If you wanted to say this one over here, you would use a different form of the demonstrative. Not isse it is, if we can even say this, more generic. So this is just means that, and we need to put in the word one since we don't have a verb for it to be demonstrating. Did I say verb? Noun. That one. Mihi is the dative singular form of ego. Doesn't have a gender. To me. Dixit. This comes from dico, dicere. It again is a third person singular, and then perfect because of the stem. Active and indicative, just barely below that. Perfect. Said. And here we need to put a single quote mark to introduce another, well, a quote within the quote. Super quam videris. Let's go ahead to videris. Since we have eris here, we have two options. We could either have the second person singular future perfect active indicative verb, or we could have the second person singular perfect subjunctive, perfect active subjunctive. So, not quite sure. We will put both options in there and take a look at the entire block of text here, see which one makes more sense. So, second person, singular, and then either future, perfect, active, indicative, or perfect, active, subjunctive. You shall have seen, or you may have seen. Yikes. Super quem is what we need to take a look at next. This is a prepositional phrase. Brackets go around that. Super is taking the accusative case here, as it did when we saw it above. Quem is, of course, accusative singular masculine. This comes from quis quid or qui quae quod. And we've got qui quae quod, quis quis quis, qui qui qui, quem quam quod. Quem is the masculine form. Over or above whom you shall have seen, or you may have seen, a direct object. Spiritum again, we have another accusative singular masculine direct object. Spirit. Discrentem, a repetition of this. I'm not going to parse it again. I'll just write that through there that we know, so that we know that we parsed it before. Descending. Et monentem, and here's connecting two participles together, or if you will, two attributive adjectives of spiritum. Monentem is our same word as mon here. So this is off of our present stem. Monentem is accusative singular, just like this one was. Remaining. Super eum. Super here again, as it can only do, taking the accusative case, singular, masculine, oops, not how you write him, from is eddo, hic est qui, hic come from hic haec hoc, this is the closer of the two demonstratives, so whenever we want to point to something farther away, we say ele ala lud, or when we want to say something closer to us, closer to the subject, we use hic haec hoc. This, and it is of course nominative singular masculine. Est is from sum, esse fui futurus. It is third person singular present, active, and indicative. Straighten that other line, sorry. Is. Then we would have a predicate or prepositional phrase. We have a predicate in qui. Since this is singular, qui should also be singular. Baptizat confirms that qui is singular because t here is a singular ending. Nominative, singular, masculine predicate. Not enough space on these pages. Who, baptizat is third, singular, present, active, indicative. Baptizes in spiritu sancto. In is our preposition. Spiritu is our fourth declension. Since it's got the long U right there, then we know that this is taking the ablative. And singular and masculine. Sancto, since it's also got an ablative ending right there, we know this is part of the prepositional phrase. We have the same case, number, and gender, since that's what the rule that all adjectives have to follow. And this just means in Holy Spirit. And so ends our verse. This was a long one. Sorry for all the really, really tight writing right there. It's just that imperfect verb. It's removed. I can't even speak. So angry. Except not. Let's take a look at it in its context. It's self-contained context, that is. And I was not knowing. I used to not know. I began to not know. I kept not knowing, or I did not know him. But who sent me to baptize in water? That one to me said, over whom or above whom you shall have seen, or you may have seen, Spirit descending and remaining over or above him. This is who baptizes in Holy Spirit. I believe this ends our quote within the quote. Now, without taking a look at the Greek, we won't be certain which of these two is our better of the options. As for the imperfect here, honestly, the one that sounds more like a perfect tense just sounds the best. But I don't have any room really to write it safely, so I'm going to leave it as is. And when we go through and take a look at the Greek next to the Latin, we will probably either write it in over here or circle whichever one is closest to the Greek from the versions of this imperfect verb here. Thank you very much for joining me in this verse, and need to go through 29 first. Almost forgot to do that. Sorry. The greater context. On next day, John sees Jesus coming to himself, and he says, "Look, or behold, Lamb of God, who takes or lifts sin of world. This one is about whom I said, after me comes man who became before me, because he was before me. And I was not knowing him," used to not know doesn't fit very well, "but in order that he might be revealed to Israel. Therefore, or because of this, I came baptizing in water. And John held testimony, saying, Because I saw or have seen Spirit descending, just as dove from heaven, and it remained above or over him. And I did not know him, but who sent me to baptize in water, that one to me said, Over or above whom you shall have seen, or you may have seen the Spirit, no articles, Spirit descending, and remaining over or above him. This is who baptizes in Holy Spirit." And there we go, the greater context together. This is a really cool passage, honestly, especially, where did it go? That right there, there's very interesting stuff going on. Thank you very much again for joining me, and I hope yet again that this has helped you with some whatever. Have a good day. Awkward ending.